Good morning. It's day 22, 23 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest. What we're going to talk about is technical sales and the components to technical sales that will help you greatly, even though technically you don't have an engineering degree, or you do, that's cool, and sales, you have no sales experience. And that's okay too. So I'm going to ramp you up on two very challenging things together into one thing boiled down into 13 points. Number one, when I was in engineering school, I did not want to do a field that would be me having to hear no. That's why I got into engineering, is so that way I wouldn't have to hear no ever again. No, I don't want to hire you. No, I don't want to date you. No, I don't think your idea is a very good idea. I don't have to hear those anymore because I went to engineering school and I got really, really, really good at sales. What was step one? Overcoming the embarrassment factor of a retard saying no to me. On the other side of hearing temporary no's is winning at all of life. And the thing that they don't teach you at YC or Stanford Engineering or really any good engineering school, University of Illinois not included, which is how do you get past an initial no? Because if you hear no and then you just quit, that's where you are economically, which is the loser's bracket. Is this also explaining why people who are book smart end up being semi street dumb? Yeah. Do you get paid kind of a lot of money via wealth, not just salary, if you're able to handle a temporary no? Yes. Is this also Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club? Yes. Because what happens when women hear the word no on a dating app or hear the word you're on a wait list to date me? They hear that as a no. Or you're waitlisted for Harvard Business School. When you're waitlisted, I hear yes. In fact, I don't just hear yes. I hear waitlisted to VIP. I hear something related to technical sales. Let's field goal, which is this. There's a thing, it's called the second supplier gambit. Second supplier gambit. It's intrinsic in technical sales. It works like this. You're selling against a competitor who is currently providing something technical. Let's call it water treatment services and water chemical. You're working at a competitor who is adverse and against your water treatment services. What do? Very difficult to displace the existing supplier. Execute protocol, comma, quote, second supplier gambit. Is this why people succeed? Is this why entrepreneur and entrepreneurship fails forward? Yes. Yes. Let's go over it. So, when you initially hear a no, we are not interested, no, I don't want to take a meeting, any version of no, not interested, too busy, any version of no. I'm interested, just don't have the time. That's interesting. Have you considered using Larry Chiang as a secondary supplier? Whoa, whoa, what did you say? Did you just apply to be my side hoe? Do you see why ugly women tend to land kind of hot guys that they don't deserve? What we're doing with Second Supplier Gambit is we are coming up with a street smart way to land a miniature contract. Street smart way to have another conversation that pushes our ball, football, basketball, baseball, soccer ball, closer into the fallopian tube so that way we may inseminate a deal. What happens when women click, oh, I need to be a Second Supplier Gambit person? What happens in that situation? What happens in that situation is now we are on both sides of the saying no equation. Remember, we're talking about Second Supplier Gambit. What do we hear all the time? Oh, please date us. We're not as hot as you, but we're a really good person and I'll do anything for you. We hear that all the time as hot people. What we now realize is that there's a second supplier syndrome that we fall for. Like, I'll happily say hi to like a 8 or not Victoria's Secret model when she says stuff like, oh, your girl doesn't, take care of you as well as I could. This is what I would do. And then she's the side hoe. And then after 2 months of side hoeing, side girling, now she's the primary girl because she just adds that much value. That's Second Supplier Gambit in dating. That's been happening to us as Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club, or as a hot girl, or as a trans Chinese person who identifies as a lesbian, where we were not victimized of Second Supplier Gambit. We're not victimized by it. We were respective of what happened as Second Supplier Gambit. Next topic of sales and selling is, will you be more salesy and more technical? No, thank you. That's initially what I thought after reading the book, Mark McCormack, what they don't teach you at Harvard Business School. Why? Why? Sounds painful. On the other side of pain via sales and selling is this: money. Not having to hire a CEO for your startup. Not having to delegate sales and selling so that way our company goes into a death spiral. Learning customer service and being okay with getting yelled at by a customer, because I'm juxtaposing pain and pleasure. Oh my God. This is chapter 4 of Unlimited Power. If you want unlimited access to tech sales jobs, you're going to need to manage your own state. So when somebody starts yelling at you, I just hear cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. I hear money. And so when people are yelling at me, I don't get demoralized. Where, oh, I wish you wouldn't yell at me. That's why I went to engineering school at Stanford University, so that way nobody would ever yell at me ever again. Because guess what? When you yell at Stanford Engineering starts to cry. What happens when you yell at a YC kid? What happens? They start to cry. What happened to Justin Kahn's blog post, take your beating? Always take your beating. Where did Justin Kahn, YC sales, tech sales extraordinaire, where did he learn sales and selling? Where did him and his brother learn sales and selling? Did they learn it at YC in college? No. Did they learn it at Yale in college in New Haven? No. They learned it before college when they were experimenting with sales and selling for their mother's real estate business. Why don't they teach this? Why don't they teach tech sales at YC? Why? No matter, we're not going to wait for YC. We're going to learn tech sales. This is step 1. In fact, I'll give you steps 1 through 6 right now for free. Here we go. There's no paywall where you get my best content after you pay me $2.95 per year. Meh. There's no paywall. If you knew what you were talking about, you would just tell people so that way it's on video and I don't got to say it again. Here we go. Sell something initially without having to talk to people. Because talking to people and selling them something, that's hard for you, especially if at parties we're an introvert and we don't like to talk to people. Worse, I don't want to talk to people that might walk away going, ew, did you just ask me for money? That's why step 1 is you sell something on eBay using your full name. This is an entire contributory mental gap, which is most people don't want to be their own name because they don't want to risk Larry Chiang being associated as a millionaire via eBay shit. Okay? Did you even know that I did Genius Shiitake on eBay? No, because my venture capital and Duck 9 and University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign work waters down my eBay genius. And ditto coining Web 5 and Web 4. That waters down my eBay thing. I never would have done it had I not started winning at eBay. Am I saying that you should be an eBay seller or reseller or Amazon seller? No! I'm saying sell one thing, maybe 2 things. One thing on Amazon and then one thing at a conference. Sell 2 things and then quit. Why are we establishing our own full name? Because most people establish eBay to sell their one thing. And it sounds like a scam artist, and then you end up selling 0 things, and then you get demoralized because you're like, I can't sell. No, you're not good at selling yet, while exhibiting a lot of scam artist, con artist behavior. It's true. Ditto YC when you use the email address help@startup.com. You might as well just be using FU, don't email me at my Stanford Engineering startup.com. Next thing to do to sell one thing, your second thing, which is put up a sign in a work conference. The sign reads this: pizza, $7 a slice. This works terrific if you're a CS major, a computer science major undergrad. It's a little weird when you're 30 years old and still haven't taken step 1. Plus, a lot of you 30-year-olds out there are looking 50. Maybe you took the jab. Maybe you're just aging prematurely because you never did tech sales. Let's do tech sales and let's maybe try to reverse some of that aging so that way your face doesn't look like it's a raisin having sex with a 3-year-old avocado. Let's go. You put a sign up, a janky ghetto sign that says $7 slice. You do this in San Francisco, Miami, Boston. Don't do this in Oklahoma. Don't do this in Chicago. Maybe, but this is financial advice. Do it in Los Angeles. Do it in Manhattan, San Francisco, Miami. Well, this is what you're doing. You're taking advantage of the fact that the pizza ovens close in Democrat-run cities because they're trying to bankrupt the middle class. So, your middle class, lower class, you can sell a $7 slice after the pizza ovens close because rich people in America, they stand next to the money printer and they just keep getting richer. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Hey, Larry, tell me about South by. Here's what South by was all about. South by Southwest, Austin, Texas. It was the best of South by Southwest. It was the worst of South by Southwest. So this is why you get to charge $7 per slice because rich people, they want to DEI everything they touch. And when you put $7 on a janky sign, you are exhibiting signs of help me and I won't be crappy anymore. Plus, I'm solving a problem, which is pizza ovens close. Do you love how a defensively excellent infielder is now dropping tech sales knowledge bombs? Oh, why did you get so much confidence? Because I can literally take any food stamp recipient Caucasian person and then lop them from doing an odd job order to day 15, 23 days of OpenAI. Boom! Are we even doing tech sales anymore? Yes. It's just that we're selling the easiest thing that sells itself, Grok 3, Claude. All that stuff is less than $200 a month. Let's focus on $7 slices of pizza. What you're doing is you're selling a $7 slice of pizza and then buying it. You mess up the order and you're screwed. You don't want to buy 14 pizzas because now you're sweating, okay? You're sweating bullets because you can't buy a $400 bill for $200, let alone a $200 bill for $6. If you are curdling mentally because of my confidence and my data, why? Why fight the Chinese guy who's got enough confidence to tell Caucasian people, I am the most Caucasian person that you have. See, I just sold you on that, not by convincing you. I sold you by doing. That's what we're doing with a $7 slice of pizza, where we sell it first and then we buy it. So now, after you sold 2 slices of pizza, you're going to be like, oh my God, I've never felt this confident. Now, take those profits of below $20 and think to yourself, what if you made $600K every day? Then you'd be at my level of confidence, which is, how did it all start? That's a great question, because after you sell $7 slices of pizza, let us now sell a website. You might need to talk a little bit, so put on your listening device. unclog your earwax, and let's INTJ up an ENTJ up a new bank account where we accept all this money for read between the lines. Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club. We're selling websites. How many web pages did you publish last year? How many books did you read last year? What have you made money-wise since this video started? You should be at $108 on the second viewing of this video. Because this video is, how did Larry Chiang start in tech sales freshman year studying engineering? I'm not going to give you my $5 million to umpteen thousands of millions, because that's how 99.999% of millionaires coach people at zero. Am I taking down Alex Hormozy while I take down Peter Thiel as I take down Sam Altman? No, I'm not taking down those three retards, okay? I'm building them up, because what did I have to deal with when I was 17 years old? I had to deal with two snowflakes just as Alex Hormozy, Peter Thiel, and Sam Altman, just as genius as Tom Chiang and Aranda Kao Chiang, Yale PhD, MIT, matriculated into a forced PhD situation. Snowflake, snowflake, snowflake. I'm like the snowflake whisperer. Selling a website. This is what they don't teach you, which is, how many books did you read last year? How many times have you watched one YouTube video and made $400? Each Larry Chiang video. Hi, I'm Larry Chiang. If you've never said hi to me before, I am easy to find. I'm 6'5", 6'7" with a cowboy hat and lift, because I wear my Stanford baseball cleats everywhere. Sell a website. Sell one website. Sell one web page, aka a landing page. So, you might think that we're only talking about women or business. It turns out we're talking about men, women, and business altogether, because we're talking about lead generation. We're talking about, can you sell one landing page? The landing page sale hunts down a problem, which is, can you sell one landing page for $700? $700? An entire website only costs me $550. Why do I want to buy one landing page at Duck 9 of all places for $700? This is why. And before we proceed into the video, say, thank you, Mark McCormack. Thank you. You thought I was going to say Larry Chiang. I don't want you to say thank you to Larry Chiang. I don't. Thank yous demoralize me. Thank yous make me want to cry. Thank yous make me feel connected to you. And I don't like feeling connected to you, because later you're just going to hit $1 million and then throw it all away. And then I'll be like, what did you throw it all away for? That's why I don't like you to be connected to me. I will gently push you away. What I want you to do is I want you to connect to Mark McCormack. So gently, convincingly say into the camera, Mark McCormack, thank you for your book that I have yet to read. $700 landing page. What the actual F are you talking about? You sound like you're joking. You sound like you're joking, and I've never met anybody like you before. You sound like you're joking. Are you joking? I'm funny, but I'm 105% accurate. Now that it's just people that want to make this money, let's go. Engaged yoga teacher, peace. I bless you with $700. This is how we're going to do it. Why is it only hot girl entrepreneurs love this stuff? I don't get it. Everybody should be loving this stuff. Let's go. Let's call today day 22, 23 days of OpenAI. Let's just call it day 22. Let's say that you don't want to write down hashtag 23 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest. Let's say you don't want to write that down. That's okay. Let's say you also don't want to write down email publish post. For all the people that didn't write it down, that's who we're competing against for those of us who did write it down, because it gets incredibly simple but kind of tricky because it sounds all 7th grade level. Sell for $700 and then buy it. Day 22, hashtag 23 days of OpenAI South by Southwest. What if, in order to charge somebody $700, they had to first make $701? So they don't pay us, you, Mark McCormack's mentee. They don't pay you $700 until they make $701. Because now you can see why I sell things for exorbitant amounts of money. Maybe you don't, because me telling it to you theoretically, it doesn't work. You have to feel it and do it. What am I asking you to risk? A little bit of ink and a dirty piece of paper, which is the back of your American Express bill. Is that also Mark Benioff with Tony Robbins? Yeah. Focus. Which is, you're going to charge $700 for one landing page on a website that you don't even control. Why? Because I'm trying to reduce barriers so that way you will just email, publish, post. Who do you email? Your email bitch, who loads up your website. You load up a landing page at using email, publish, post. Is this Matt Mullenweg voodoo technology? Oh yes, it is. Look at how people lose focus when it goes from theory to theorem with an M at the end, which is email, publish, post. And then the problem that we're solving is lead generation. My God, this stuff is so easy. All we're doing is solving lead gen. They don't pay $701 until they get $701 of leads that they tell you, I got $702 worth of leads. Now I'm willing to pay you $700. That's it. And then what do? You now have something that's evergreen because it's a web page. It's not under the Instagram algorithm. It's not under the YouTube algorithm. It's just a solo landing page. Oh, Larry, after I do 5 of these landing pages, should I get my own website? Yes. But step 1 is do one web page. Do it on Duck9. Do it on your buddy's site. Do it anywhere. Just get one landing page. Next step, sell an entire website without their consent. This is how. So, when people have social posts, they go viral and they get buried within 3, 4, 5 weeks, definitely 2, 3, 4 months. They get completely lost. What if you could make a viral post or a popular post intrinsically archived. That would be taking a X post and then putting it onto a web page. Did you guys get lost there, or was it so easy that you stopped paying attention? Because that's how to get to $1,000 in selling a website where they didn't even say yes to 1,000. This is where it gets genius. It is this. You're running an external API into their social media posts in order to be a sales agent for that company. Here's an example. Uber cab. The ride-sharing app used to say, call in Uber, call in Uber. So what did I do? I created a landing page that was attached to another external API, which is a phone number. Meaning, if you wanted to call an Uber from the Westin Copley in Boston, you would telephone 415-720-8500. And I would text back a short code that opened up Uber in the App Store. I just made $60. So selling that website for $100 or $1,000, well, I would only pay $1,000 after I make $1,001. That's selling a website. Next thing that we're going to try to do is we're going to try to resuscitate a cadaver. You take a thing that died, startup, boo-hoo, the founders never wanted to do tech sales. They died. They are trying to get out of startup death spiral where they hire a biz dev intern to do their sales work for them. They're trying to delegate distribution. And in dating, what happens when you delegate distribution to an app? You go into the virgin zone. What happens in business when you delegate distribution in deal flow to a marketing intern? You go bankrupt. Now we're going to play with a cadaver, not like in some weird thing. We are going to play with a business cadaver by adding in two components, sales and tech. And we're going to execute CS major CRO. This is not so easy. This is so specific and random. Here's how. We identify a cadaver, a business that's basically like a YC company that's under. We text message Larry Chiang, 650-283-8008. Hey, we're thinking about doing this cadaver turnaround. Then we do a little bit of tech and a little bit of sales. And what then we do is we get a heartbeat and then we publish those improvements into a mainstream media or do a podcast on it, and then we continue to let that thing die. All we want to do is resuscitate and give it CPR and let it live for a little bit. We don't want to just completely take it over. And what we're doing with a cadaver is we are now becoming Jedis in business administration. We are now becoming Jedis in content creation. Because you could be asking, hey, what's this content about? Where you could have just looked at the title and said, oh, this is technical sales applied to business turnarounds. Oh, this is technical sales as applied to me who does not have a technical STEM degree, also with no sales experience. That's okay that you don't have either, because we're using the 23 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest. Completely free. All this is free. So the topic that we're talking about is using AI to get slightly better at STEM and tech while we sell and distribute the thing that we vibe coded out of our ear hole, half asleep or pooped out of our butt, and now we have to go get distribution for our tech app. Anybody gave birth to an idea, they got demoralized because it didn't take off immediately, forgot about what Larry Chiang, hi, I'm Larry Chiang, and Paul Graham said, which is startups only take off because their founders or the cadaver resuscitators made them take off. Nothing takes off on its own in a vacuum. It needs to be promoted and pushed and birthed out painfully sometimes. But it turns out it's not that painful. It's just emotionally semi-uncomfortable temporarily. It feels like the end cap of a video. Do you guys have any questions about tech sales and why I started? Also, speaking of aerospace engineers who did tech sales, the Wright brothers. So initially they're repairing bikes and selling their used bikes into selling used bikes and then selling an airplane. And so with selling an airplane, it's very much a technical sale. And that's the Wright brothers doing tech sales. Elon Musk, tech sales. Doing food for lead gen. How did he sell Teslas? Handed out muffins and cupcakes and then sold cars because every 20 cookies he would give away, one of those cookies would turn into a car sale. Let's answer some questions which will catch up new people that are visiting. Hi, I'm Larry Chiang. What the fudge are you talking about? What I'm talking about is technical sales at level 0 through basically 600. At level 0 is ouchie, this stuff hurts my brain. What is your content about? Technical sales is difficult because of two components, the selling and the technical. It helps if you read 3 books last year, but no pressure to read 6 books this year. We can skip temporarily reading a book by doing this, which is how to watch a Larry Chiang YouTube video and get, dare I say, $700, which is the earlier portion of this video. There's no secret wall. There's no secret subs. I don't even care if you do subscription sub, okay? I don't care. What I do care about is this one video should get you from $0 in sales to $700. Question, are we talking about women or business? Earlier, I alluded to the fact that having to ask 20 people in order to get 16 dates where the first 2, 3, or 1 people will say no to you. That's also business. Is this also the gender playing the one game on hard mode, but then having to play the money game on harder mode? Yes, it is. And so distribution and our own mental thoughts on how we get a relationship going is at the crux of tech sales. It's at the basis for entrepreneurship. And it's talked about, but sometimes it's not very well explained because it's not explained from a super hot Chinese guy in a cowboy hat. And so I'm willing to share with you some pretty real things. That's why I don't put it behind a paywall. Question. I subbed. Oh, I'm happy you subbed. What I would actually be more impressed by and complimented by is not your subscription. It would be this. Subscribing means you're looking forward to future content. And I thank you for that, I guess. I'm supposed to be super thankful because so many people are begging for likes and subscribes. What I'm looking for in the comment section is, hey, my name is Liam. Do you remember me? I met you on Saturday, 3 Saturdays ago, 5 Saturdays ago. Gosh, literally 6 Saturdays ago. I took the stuff that you talked about and I made over $1,000. That's what I want to hear on Psycho Saturday, because sell one thing on Saturday is the goal of this video. You met me on the 22nd because on the 15th and the 8th, those were day 8 and day 15 of the 23 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest. With today being day 22, which is just sell one thing. In fact, because you guys did such a good job paying attention to the whole video, I'll actually buy the thing that you're selling and I'll be your first customer. Just to get you off of zero. Just to get you off of zero. And then once you sell me, selling your next person won't necessarily be easy. It'll still be hard, but now you'll have felt better about having to sell one thing. "23 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest." Hashtag 23 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest. That connects to 17 days in August. Those are called 17 days of Grok 3 at Osaka World Fair. When you connect the two, you'll see that days 10 through 16 of the 17 days of Grok 3 at Osaka World Fair connect specifically to day number 13, which was Thursday, which is 23 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest. I hope you had a terrific Psycho Saturday on today, day 22 of the 23 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest.